Hi guys, happy Tuesday. Today we're going to be doing a stretch class. We will be primarily standing up for this class. If you have not been moving around, I prefer that you kind of just stand here and give yourself some movement through your joints, through your knees, maybe some arm circles. While I settle in and give us a couple moments to breathe, let's place our feet directly beneath our hips, lifting through our chest, shutting down the eyes. Make sure to pull your head back, bringing that chin just straight back to create an alignment with the neck and the spine. Our palms are relaxed, facing forward. I'm just standing here for a moment, listening to your breath. Begin to slowly move the wrist, wiggle the feet. We're going to start in a standing position using our wall today. So find a place around the house where you have an open wall. We're going to start with some thoracic openers. Before we do, let's create a little bit of twist through the back. Most of us have probably been seated today. Hands are on our hips, or they can gently flow around the body. Let's slowly take our fingertips up to our head, lift through our chest, and we're going to pull those abs in and slowly hinge over at our hips, creating a flat back, and then lift up, squeezing those glute muscles nice and tight as you stand. Give me one more, nice and slow, and stand up. Facing our wall, we're going to place our hands out past the shoulder width. You're going to walk your feet in fairly close to the wall. The further away they are, the harder it is to really get the rotation I'm wanting. Eventually, when we get to our rotation, we're going to sink down through our chest, allowing our chest to hang. If this causes any back discomfort, you can walk your feet even closer and then allow yourself to just hang towards that wall. Listen to your body here. Where you should begin to feel this stretch is right through, so if you're tight throughout the chest, you'll feel it in the armpits. You may begin to feel a little bit down the back of the arm, maybe all the way back towards the lats, into the shoulder blades. Imagine yourself becoming weightless towards the wall. So you feel grounded in your feet, but your upper body just should feel almost weightless, like we're heading towards the wall, leaning to the wall. I want you to walk your right hand, come off the wall just slightly so we come out of that arch and that sink. Walk your right hand over towards the left side, and then sink the hips back and drop through the chest as well to the wall. You can take your gaze under that right arm. A little bit of rotation. If you start to feel anything, cramp or spasm in the back, you'll want to make sure you come out of that slowly. Release, walk the right hand back to the right side. Take a moment in the middle to allow yourself to sink through, maybe 2 breaths right here. And then slowly push back and walk that left hand over towards the right. Then sink back in those hips and drop through the chest towards them. Once you get into position, you can take your gaze over to that left arm. Walk your hands back through the center and drop the chest back into the center. Sending those hips back. Slowly begin to lift that chest back and come to a standing position. We're going to pull those arms back behind us, arching through the back slightly, just kind of reversing that movement that we were doing. We're going to place our left hand high up on the wall. Our palms will be flattened to the wall, but your fingertips can either be away from you, so towards the back, or they can be facing the ceiling. Whatever feels good to you. I'm placing mine to the back. Let's walk away from the wall, a good sizable amount. Squeeze the legs together. Take that right arm over the head. Take your gaze up to that right bicep. And let's take a little side bend. So I've got a couple things going on here. One, I've got a nice stretch through this arm. And then on my right side, I can feel that stretch all the way up from my low back, which maybe some obliques as well in there. And then open that chest. So in your side bend, we're not coming forward. We're opening up through that chest. Our gaze is up at that right elbow. And release. Slowly bring that right hand back to the side. Left hand meets the side. All right, switching sides. I'm going to take my right hand. I'm placing my fingers towards you guys now, but they can be away from you or behind you, or they can be straight up. Squeeze your legs together. Make sure you have walked far enough away from the wall. And let's take our left arm up, pushing that left rib cage out. Left side, pushing out. Look up at that left bicep. Open up that chest. Good, 2 more breaths here. And release, come back to standing. Pull those arms back, create a nice arch in that back, lifting through the chest, and release. We are going to go into our last standing stretch on the wall, into a puppy stretch. So I like getting close to the wall to get my triceps or the back of my arms against the wall. Then you can slowly start walking your feet out, and then we're going to drive our hips back. Keep your abdominals engaged here to brace the pelvis as well as give support to the spine. And then just let your chest sink into the wall. The further you can relax into the hips and let those hips guide you back, the deeper that chest will be able to sink to the wall. One final breath here. Exhale all the way out. Take those hands up to the wall. Push off gently. All right. Let's slowly move into what's going to be called our short stance pyramid. So I'm going to place, let me start on my right. I'm going to place my right foot and my right leg in front. My left foot goes back behind. My hips are squared to the front of me. Now, if you're too far out, you're going to probably be a little too intense of a stretch. Make sure you got a narrow stance, so it's almost like a triangle here on the bottom, my bottom lower half. Place your pinkies here at your pelvis, and then fold over those pinkies. Now, hands are on the shin, and this may be right where you want to stay. You're driving back into that right heel as well as the left heel. Legs are straight. If you would like to go a little further and kind of collapse your pyramid or a folded pyramid to draw that chest towards your right thigh, feel free to do so. I'm softening my knee in the front, which would be my right. If you feel too much strain behind that right knee, make sure you soften it. It's not going to take all the stretch off, but it'll take that strain off. Allow the head to hang. Big deep breath in, and as you exhale, just fold a little more into that right leg. Allowing the arms to hang if you are in the bottom position. If If you're here on the thigh, you can still relax those shoulders and pull them away from your ears. Now from this position, if you're here, and let me start with, if your hands are on your shin, you're going to place the left hand on the shin. The modification would be just to bring that right arm up and get a little chest opener. If you'd like, you can open up all the way. The further progression is to keep hands on the floor and keep it and open it up. And again, another option is always to place that hand behind you and just give a little push, opening up that chest a little more. So we've got a lot of things stretching right now. We have the backs of our body, our legs. We have our chest and our shoulders. So just breathe. Big breath in. Exhale. Bring those hands back to center wherever they may be. If they're on the shin, we're going to roll it up slowly. Kind of kick those legs, rear kicks back, and then maybe some toe touches forward. All right. Left foot forward, right foot goes back. Driving the weight in the heels of the feet. Our hips are centered forward. Put your pinkies right here at your pelvis and hinge over. Again, your modification would be here at your calf or your shin, keeping a nice flat back or dropping through, just making sure you stay grounded. Take your hands to the floor if you're taking them there, and begin to breathe and allow that chest to fold further towards that thigh. Let those arms hang. Head is hanging on, heavy. We have one more breath here. Now, find your twist. Again, I'll show you if you're here on your shin. You can open up with that hand, left hand on your back, right hand staying on your shin, opening through that chest. You can open it all the way. If your hands are on the floor, you can open that straight arm, or you can take that hand on your back and open that chest. Inhale, and as you exhale, lower the hands down and slowly begin to roll it up. Oh, that should feel great, right? To come out of it, I'm just creating some movement in my legs after statically holding a pose. Let's go ahead and come on down to our knees, nice and slow. We're going to place our right foot in front. Our chest is up tall. We're going to make sure we're not leaning yet. So we're sitting up nice and tall. There's a nice right angle at that left knee. We're going to turn on our glutes and tuck them under. So here I'm relaxed. Here I'm drawn in and under. We're going to lift that left arm up and reach up. So you're starting to feel this hip flexor on that left side. If you want, you can take both arms up. You can even reach over to that right side while we're just holding the stretch. Bring it back to the center. Now let's take it to more of a lengthening lunge. Walking that back leg back. Make sure this front knee is not going over the toes. So hands are on the floor. Chest is lifting slightly, reaching to the front of the room. That's my dog. She always likes to wait till I'm in the middle of class, and then she wants to go outside and cry about it. Allow that hip to just sink towards the floor. Walk the right foot, which would be your front foot, to the outside of your mat for more of a lizard pose. You can walk your hands further forward and just practice on sinking those hips towards the mat. That would be your left hip primarily to the mat. walk those hands back, bend the knees, and let's just take a little bit of a hamstring stretch here, stretching out the front leg, using our hips to pull us back. Grab your right foot, pull those toes towards your forehead. If you can't grab your right foot, just grab somewhere on the leg, pulling those toes towards your head, allowing those hips to drive back and get a nice stretch. If you would like to raise the intensity a little bit and move through those hamstrings just a little bit differently, take your left hand, keeping the toes flexed, reach over your right leg. Come here, Minnie. And release, walk those hands back. Right leg comes back to meet the left. We're going to meet in a neutral spine position in tabletop. And just take a couple cat-cows here. Just kind of reset that back. We've been stretching forward and back, the muscles that are forward and back. All right, when you're ready, go ahead and stand up on the knees. Bring your left foot forward. Keep a nice 90-degree angle at that right knee. Pull those glutes under and hip under. So now I've got a nice pelvic tilt. Feeling this nice pull here. Reach that right arm up if you feel balanced to do so. Reach the left arm and then, oh yes, tilt over to the left. Still keeping this glute engaged. Once you relax off of it, you won't feel much. You've got to keep it scooped under and firing. Release those hands down. Let's walk it on out to our lengthening lunge. Walking that back leg back. Hands come to the floor. Chest is driving forward. Shoulders are away from the ears. Listening to our breath, letting us guide us into this deeper stretch here. Take that left foot to the outside of our mat. Take your hands maybe just a little bit further forward. Don't have to be much. Sinking in that right hip. I'm backing off mine just a little bit. Nice deep breath in. As you exhale, let's walk those hands back. Straighten through that left leg on your way back. Reaching for those toes. I'm going to go let her out because she's just going to get louder. I want you to take 2 more breaths in that stretch. Go ahead and release. Bring that leg, both knees come back to meet each other. We're going to meet in tabletop. Separate the knees wide and let's all drop down into a child pose. If you wanted a little more of a lengthening, walk those hands forward and maybe even move into more of a prone puppy pose. Sinking through that chest. Walk those hands back if you have them extended. We're going to do one more quick stretch here. This is going to be a calf stretch. It's a little bit different placement for everyone. We're trying to hit the calves. I'm going to pull up my pants so you can see a little bit better angle of my leg. For me, I take my right leg out a little bit past hips. I bring my heel closer to my left leg. My hands come down here and I'm going to drive forward. So my weight is going forward. If this bothers your knee, you can do a standing calf stretch, which would almost be like a runner's lunge. Let's move forward. So I'm going to turn to the side so you can see my knee comes over my toes. I'm stretching. I'm trying to keep my heel down. It's lifting slightly. You probably can't see that. It's not much. And if you want a little more, you can place your right hand on that right thigh and drive that heel down even a little more. Again, you should not have any discomfort at the knee or you would not do these. Pretty much just laying on my leg to create a little bit more pressure in that calf. Now push off of it. Switch. Left foot comes out. Take a moment, kind of feel where you're going to get the best stretch. You want a nice, good stretch. Trying to keep your left heel down. When you're ready, use that left hand on the left knee or thigh and drive into it. Using the body as some weight and resistance here. Feels so good. Once you get it, you know you got it. It's just like, oh, those calves are always tight. Don't forget your calves. Another easy way to stretch them is placing your toes up the wall, heel on the floor, and then leaning over them. That's a really good deep stretch. It's also a good foot stretch if you don't have shoes on. And actually, let's go ahead and do that one. Let's come off, stand up, find a wall or something to lift the foot up on, and lean over. So I'm going to walk my left foot back a little further so I can get more weight and more leverage and place it over that. Oh, man. I'm telling you, I haven't done these in a while. Do not neglect your calves. It'll cause foot problems. All right, one more breath and release. Let's switch. Left foot up the wall. Roll up on that. Depends on what feels best. For me, I like to get a little more intensity. I'm going to roll up on those toes, get over that foot. And release. Let's do one collective breath together. So hands at your side. We're going to take a nice deep breath in. Inhale those arms up. Hands meet in the middle. Exhale the hands to heart center. Thank you for joining me today. Make sure you comment down below if you stopped in or you participated, even if it's later in the afternoon.